Well, the piece I made for What Remains is, I guess, what you could call a concise set for the Middle East. It's part, like you say, it's part of an ongoing project called The Making of the Modern World. The whole project is a commentary on the geopolitics of the Middle East, how different colonies have affected how these countries have been carved up, their borders have been put together. And this is just a small selection, the concise Middle East. I juxtaposed it with a set of stamps from the Ottoman Empire. This period is a very interesting period, the change between the provinces of the Ottoman Empire into the colonial states and how that affected the borders, and how it's still affecting the countries now after these changes. It's very relevant to this moment. You can see with what's going on in Iraq, and also what's going on with North Africa since the wars there. The paintings are 7 times the size of the original stamps, so that they are to scale when they're represented on the wall. So that means that each stretcher is a unique size. And you see the difference in each of the colonial powers in the stamps, the design that they choose to produce, the traditional nature of each of these places. The reason I've spent so long on this project is that it's, of course, evolving. It's a learning curve for me. I think the thing that drives the work the most, although I'm a visual aesthetic person, is the history. That's the prime interest behind it and how it affects the world today. I felt it was quite fitting to use this project for this exhibition, What Remains, because it's a culmination of a lot of research, and it really is what remains. It is the essence of what has come out of this history, and how it's affecting the world today.
In one of my series, which is called 3 Drops of Blood, I used the sophisticated technique of silk screen on felt, and as the result, I found after a while a huge amount of wasted and useless felt that I didn't know what to do with them. I couldn't give them away, I couldn't throw them away. Then one day I took them to a friend of mine who is a carpenter, and we started cutting them with an electrical saw. And for the first time when I look at these little squares, I had an immediate flashback in Persian tiles and what remains of another tradition which is not dying, but which is luckily still around, but another tradition which is fragile. This project is all about communication, transport of idea, the travel of ideas from west to east or from east to west. That's why the patterns are all traditional, but are all meaningful within this idea of traveling. Yeah, the way that I'm sensitive to shapes and materials and volumes, these are all the base that I got from being an architect and from studying and practicing architecture. That's why I use a lot of metal and a lot of lines, and I always see my piece in volume. I never see my work as a flat piece. I always see it being a kind of 3-dimensional. Because of my own personal life, a kind of peripatetic life, navigating all the time between Iran and England, I'm more and more interested in a kind of cohabitation between my felt and carpet, which are made in Iran, and the metal work, which I make now in England. In that way, I can feel my work closer to myself and to my existent life.
These rolled, what shall we call them, these rolled works, I have used them before as contained thoughts in glass jars. Then I decided, instead of putting them in glass jars, I would like to make a pile of these. And in a sense, they look like they are old letters or even love letters or things on parchments that somehow a group were left behind when somebody, the idea, what remains, because because of my background and having been a refugee, having had to leave Palestine and so forth, what remains has a lot of connotation for me. And the idea of leaving someplace in a hurry, you take what you can and you leave a lot behind. What remains for me from my childhood is memories. Lots of memories, hardly anything tangible, because the photographs were lost, the furniture was lost, a lot of things were lost. But the memories were not lost, and I can remember them very, very well. Well, there are lots of things that have not been said, and maybe it's better if they are not said, because I think there should be an element of mystery to a work. And I find that if the work, after all, is a visual thing, if it visually does not say something, then no amount of words is going to enhance it or make it, make it understandable. So it should, by itself, reveal itself. Either it does or it doesn't. And I find words somehow diminish a lot of the beauty and the mystery of art. So I think the less said, the better.